If you want to be able to buy the most expensive players and open the best packs in FC25, go to u7buy.com to buy your EA FC25 coins. It's cheaper than buying FC points and just as reliable. With their already amazing prices, you can get an extra 6% using promo code Inception at checkout. Okay guys, so today we're going to be doing a video for the new evolution called Magic Knights. So, listen, the last time we did the evolution video, listen, as a content creator, it's a win-lose situation for me, right? Because it's either I mention the chain evolutions or I don't, right? We're just going to be doing it as we normally do with the evolutions. You know, just checking out the ones that you can actually upgrade as of right now if you've already used them. But guys, I've tried to tell you ever since the beginning of the year, man, when it comes to evolutions, waiting and seeing what types of chains you could do is a really ideal thing to do, because even in last year's game, right, I kept mentioning in every Evo video, like the last ones, I was like, next year you're gonna really have to wait for a lot of them to drop to really pick specific cards. Now, don't get me wrong, some people obviously did the evolutions very quickly because people want to work with meta cards quickly, and I don't blame them for that. Like Diogo Dalot, for instance, is a really, really good example. That card's fantastic, but I get it, you know, like people are gonna obviously go for the choices that they can actually personally get as of right now from the choices that exist in front of them, right? So that's what we're going to do, as we normally have done, right? So Magic Knights is going to be one that gives you a Trivella and a Poacher Plus with some stat improvements, right? So obviously, by default, this is going to be a very big deal to work with a lot of players. There are some evolved players that you can get that could be really cool, either for sentimental value or for other reasons, right? So we got players, we have a lot of the female players, right? The female players could be pretty decent because their dribbling, I would say it works a little bit differently. Like you could probably do more dribbling with them compared to some other cards. I think with 82, it would probably have to be a little bit higher potentially, right? So be very mindful of that when it comes to like future improvements. But then again, you are also getting some a play style that is a very big meta in this game currently, and then the Poacher Plus, right? So but yeah, a couple of the female players will be trending for this. Beller was the one that was like showing up as well. I mean, she could be cool. I think she's still a 3-star on this card though, if I'm not mistaken. 3-star on her, yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like having at least a 4-star something is so important. Like you can use cards like Pajor, right? She has like the Rapid Plus, but I don't know, she's kind of weird when she's just like a 3-star player. Eva Nielsen for sentimental value. Ajibadi is the one that got the Player of the Month card, so not super relevant to look into this one unless you do want the playstyles, right? Do you currently need Trivella playstyle? No, but we don't know what adjustments they're going to do in the future, so always be mindful of that when it comes to the improvements. It's funny because this evolution exists with the Poacher Plus on the Striker, but the Player of the Month does not have that, right? So if you're doing this card, you're doing the Evo, you do get that with the Trivella added to it, right? So there is that added variable, right? We have some interesting cards like João Felix, who gets one. Doesn't look like he gets a dribbling boost, but he gets a boost in other areas compared, right? And then obviously you can kind of use them in a specific way, because if you play him in the striker position, you're now adding a play style to him or a role to him, right? He can play Poacher Plus, so not too bad, you know, considering that you would give him a Hunter chemistry style. It's a 5-star skill player, and honestly, with dribbling right now with him, I think mainly you would want to work with the Trivella and then the 5-star skills. Like you can definitely cook with this card because of the 5-star skills that he has. And now that you have the striker position with the Poacher Plus, that is an added variable depending on the sort of tactics that you do end up going with, right? So pretty cool there. Gakpo gets one as well. I'm not really sure if people will go down this route because dribbling is still kind of set up a certain way. So it's a little bit tricky on that one. Brian Torres gets one, 81 dribbling. 81 dribbling is not really messed with too much. Kolo Muani, Kai Havertz gets one as well. Kai Havertz gets a pretty significant improvement. And again, Poacher Plus is now added, so with him, I would say you give him a Hunter, and he is a lengthy, so that does add to it, right? Lengthy player, you work with the dribbling as it is, but he has Trivella and he's a left-footed player. So striker in the left-sided areas, you can switch in between Poacher and advance forward. Not necessarily too bad there, right? Let's see here. Kolo Muani gets one. 81 dribbling, 85, 90. I mean, yeah, he could be cool too. I think he's like an art trigger merchant as well. So I mean, yeah, probably be another card you give a hunter to kind of make those runs. It's either hunter or finisher, guys, because the pace is not always super relevant to work with, right? It just depends on how the card is generally formatted. Richarlison, Rashford gets one. I've tried out rare gold Rashford. Rashford's definitely for like the lower divisions. I think as you go up though, maybe this one would be a little bit better on the finisher. I think the dribbling would feel the same, but on a finisher, he does get drastically improved in certain areas to make him a little bit better. And he gets Poacher Plus, so it does add to him, to be fair. A couple of added variables there. Bonza Braga, Malin gets one. This Malin card's actually pretty good. He's still 5k for a reason as like a cheaper alternative for like meta players, because some people have like Borussia Dortmund links with like Adeyemi, right? Like that's like that's usually like the main one that people would work with. But yeah, definitely looks like an interesting one as well. Lookman from Atalanta gets one. Nigerian links with that. Good improvements for him, to be fair. Definitely some good improvements. He looks like he'd be pretty good. Gets that striker poacher as well. Hunter chemistry style on him would definitely put him in a really solid spot. Looks like I don't know, man. When I look at Lookman, if he actually dribbles a certain way in game, it's like my previous Correa card, basically. You know what I'm saying? Poacher Plus on him, though, added is pretty cool. Gabriel Jesus, this is the one that was trending in the game. The improvements are nice. You really can't go wrong with the improvements. I think the improvements are actually quite noticeable for him, because normally his pace and his shooting would be in a lower spot, but this is definitely very usable, like 100%. He gets technical, which is great. Relentless, first touch, Trivella. You know, you're using a card like this as one of two strikers in a 4-4-2 or something, even as a lone striker on that advanced forward role, could be pretty nice. The only thing that I can maybe see him lacking in is physical presence sometimes, but I think that card looks pretty nice. That's actually a pretty cool option there. Poacher Plus again being added is great. Let's see here. Jensen looks pretty cool too. Dribbling is the only thing that's like in the lower side, but Atletico Madrid links can't go wrong with that if you want to go down that route. Bailey gets one. Honestly, Bailey is actually a pretty decent card. I would just say that his weak foot needs to be improved, right? You do get to a point where you do want a minimum of 4-star, 4-star. I think it's definitely really important to work with, but you know, in his case, he still looks like an interesting one for sure. I've seen another one here. Yeah, so Rafa is interesting to me because I think the shooting boost would definitely be very helpful for him. I mean, you have to pay for it, obviously, but he does give you Besiktas link. So if you did do the Jetson card, you can kind of go from there. I'm not really sure how well Rafa's doing in the Turkish league, but, you know, you have to think about it, whether or not he'll actually get like a team of the season and stuff, right? Correa gets a really significant improvement as well. Really good stuff here with the Poacher Plus. I think the main thing with Correa that's a little bit strange with him is his dribbling. It definitely feels more physical oriented. It's funny when I say a card is physical oriented, like he's not a physical player. I'm just saying that, like, when I'm saying physical oriented, like you can feel that dribbling being a certain way in game. Does that make sense? Like if you ever use like Phil Foden, for instance, right? Like his dribbling is really nice in game, right? I'm trying to actually add him into the team, but it's a little bit difficult with the new chemistry system, right? But yeah, regardless, trying to add him in there. Timo Werner gets one as well. Maybe he could be the type of striker for me that's like a good one to use again, potentially. He has inside forward for the left mid position. Definitely a card you would definitely have to give a finisher to make his dribbling a little bit better, but could be an interesting one, right? He has Poacher Plus on the striker position change, false 9, inside forward for left mid, so some interesting stuff there. Bowen 81. Some sentimental cards could definitely be really cool too. Paris for the Manchester United links wouldn't be too bad. Talishka for Al Nassr. Trossard. Yeah, Trossard is definitely increased a lot, actually. This card looks interesting because he has the 5-star capability there, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big variable to work with. 4-star, 5-star is definitely very nice. I mean, the usability of this card is great. Striker position change, striker poacher plus added to him, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, dribbling at this point in the game is not like completely horrible. Like you could definitely make this work, and then obviously Trivela being added to them definitely adds a lot, right? Icardi, Roberto Firmino, Lacazette, Immobile, Aubameyang, Arnautovic, Salma. Salma could be cool. I think with her, because you know what it is with her, it's the link to Patry, right? Because she gets that triple link set up with her. My problem with her is that her dribbling feels weird. Like you do, in my opinion, I feel like with this card, you would have to go with that other variation. Yeah, this one, right? Because this one actually does an improvement to her dribbling. And then, you know, you'd go the route of giving her a finisher and stuff, and then she'd be better. Because you have to understand, this card is left-footed for the left-hand side, right? So if you're working with Trivelas and stuff, that is a very big variable to work with, for sure. Brobe, Marmoush, Jackson gets one for the Chelsea fans. Sesko. Sesko's not too bad, eh? As a physical type attacker, he's not bad. He has like a promo card, this one right here. This one's not bad to use. He actually can do work in game. He has aerial, he has technical, acrobatic, advanced forward with poacher as well. Usually ideal to use cards like that in a 2-striker lineup, but from his evolution, he gets a Trivela, and then he gets a poacher plus, right? So poacher plus for a card like this, who is a lengthy, you could definitely work with that too, right? It's an added variable every time, right? Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto is not too bad. He does have a thing to his dribbling as well where I'd like to improve it, though. Power Surge Ultimate Edition. Yeah, I think the small dribbling improvement would definitely be very helpful for him, for sure. It's always a shame, eh? Because, like, in real-life football, a lot of the times, like, opposite foot is on the strong side, you know? Like, but in this game, I feel like strong foot on the strong side is, like, super ideal. I don't know. Unless your player has, like, Finesse Shot Plus. They have Finesse Shot Plus and they can cook, right? But yeah, Neto gets another option here that you can totally go with, right? But you would just have to work with the dribbling a little bit, right? Mostly in the reactions department, right? Not too bad though. I mean, if you give him a hunter, good pace, good shooting, good improvement regardless. Because again, you don't know what's gonna happen in the future, right? Johnson gets one, Rose, Hendrick gets one. No dribbling boost on that one. The other one has a dribbling boost, so that's why it's way more relevant. But again, I always mention these guys could get improved from what you're actually selecting, right? Daniel James, Watt. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at some of the chain evolutions for this one. There could be some really cool ones for this. Let's take a look here. Evolution. The Daniel James one is actually pretty interesting. If you kept a hold of all those things. Oh, this is the card that's actually trending in the game. So she plays for Leon. So if you can get Leon links, it's not horrible. She looks pretty good, to be honest. How tall is she? Oh, I feel like she'd be super agile in game. She'd be tiny and have no physical presence, that's for sure, but I feel like she'd be really good actually. Yeah. That looks cool. I mean, it makes sense that she's trending in the game, to be honest. Ajibadi, Rafa, we've checked out these cards already. So these are some of these you'll see with like the chain evos, right? If you still have some of them. Kai Havertz was one as well. Simone gets one. Nigerian links with League One. He still plays for that team, Nantes or something? Nantes? Ansu Fati gets one from the Ultimate Edition upgrade, so that's an interesting one. Okay, let's see what's on the bin. Let's see what's trending on the bin. Let's see if there's anything cool over there. There's some options for this, like, that will do well in the beginning, for sure. Definitely some options. Like, Correa, obviously, good pace, good shooting. João Felix, we looked at. Hendricks, Suarez, Trossard. Timo Werner could be cool, too. You know, Manchester United is always going to trend, right? If people can do an evolution on Rashford, they'll always kind of like flock to that for sure. Yeah. Honestly, you don't really necessarily need to look into the dribbling as much because everyone dribbles a certain way anyways. Like unless you want like a super responsive left stick dribbler, they're all kind of set up a certain way, right? So, but I mean, Correa definitely looks really cool, right? Very easy links to work with. Probably gone up in price actually. Yeah, he went up a little bit. Yeah, because like I think about the dribbling and because I've used him a lot, and it's just like, but now you give him Poacher Plus, you know, so he could be the running type in your team. He has a lot of different position changes. Kind of crazy if you know what evolution's coming out and you just kept hold of a bunch of Correas in your team, you make like 3 times the amount of coins. It's nuts how that works, but yeah, no, some good upgrades for him for sure. Indra, Gabriel, Jesus, Trossard. Yeah, I feel like we've pretty much covered most of the cards without super looking into the chain evolutions, right? Because people don't want me to do that, which makes sense because they probably already use their evolutions towards certain cards, right? But yeah, a couple of interesting ones, man. I think Correa definitely looks really cool. Rashford with the improvements is nice, but he's still going to dribble a certain way, but it's mainly in the passing and the shooting that gets improved. Correa with that pace, shooting, and passing upgrade's nice. That one's definitely nice. Makes it way better for sure. And João Felix getting one too is, again, not a horrible one to go with because he still has the like the striker position change on a hunter with now having a poacher, and it definitely adds to him. It does, because like you don't really work with the dribbling as much, you work with the skill moves to get into those positions, right? So there is also that added variable. But Malin is also a really cool one. Like people still use Malin right now, and this card still cooks, to be honest. So the improvements for him is nice because he has like the striker position change, right? He has advanced forward, he has poacher, so if you need to change your custom tactics in game, you can switch them between the two, and it's just like seeing which one you want to work with the most, right? So very good improvements there. So yeah, there's a couple of good choices. Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered most of them. Again, I don't know when this reward video is going to be coming out, but it should come out soon. We're also going to be doing the review for the new Rush team that's going to be coming out tomorrow too. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.